Hello again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today, before I get to Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, I'm going to talk a little bit about, at the request of a guy called Mike Pratt. Apparently he's a guy who, I think he watches my videos sometimes and comments on them sometimes too. And he asked me, I went to this Madonna concert the other night and she played 5 nights at this huge arena, 22,000 a night. It's a big arena. She played 5 nights there, and I went to the 4th night. And maybe you saw the videos. I did the bootleg merch tour. That was it. I didn't take any videos of the concert, but I did go to the concert. And this guy, Mike Pratt, I think I have his name right. He asked me, so how's the concert? So at his request, I'll talk about it just a little bit. I don't have too much to say about that. And I probably would have talked about it anyway. But Mike Pratt, I'll give him credit for being the inspiration for me to talk about the Madonna concert. And you might notice my voice is a little rough today. I had 100% laryngitis on today for me as I'm recording this. It's Saturday, April 27th or 28th? 27th, I think. I saw the concert on Wednesday the 24th. I woke up that morning and I felt a little tickle. You get something in your throat is just not quite right. It wasn't a sore throat, but I thought something is amiss and something is going to go wrong. And then as I was driving to the Madonna concert on Wednesday afternoon, actually I was listening to Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, and I was singing along as I would normally do. And I thought something again, just not that I'm a great singer or even a singer, but something just felt a little bit off. And later in the concert, I noticed that my voice was really weird. And then when I got home at like 3:30 in the morning. And then I went to bed for like 2 hours, got up to work, and my voice was far, far worse than this. And by the afternoon, Thursday afternoon, I had no voice. I had to book off work my last 3 hours. Friday, I didn't work at all because I sounded like this. I had no voice at all. So it's come back a little bit now. I'll try to get through this. So I saw Madonna, and good things and bad things. The bad thing is, one, I don't really care about Madonna. I don't dislike her music, I should say. But, I wanted to go just because I'm at the point where with her, and I saw Billy Joel a few years ago, and Rod Stewart, kind of, these people, I understand, regardless of my opinion, I understand their place in musical history. And Madonna she's not arguably, she is the greatest female for sure pop star ever. I guess maybe you could say Michael Jackson, even that's debatable. The greatest pop star ever. I would say Madonna is probably the greatest pop star ever. Yes, even more or even bigger than Michael Jackson. Hard to compare for several reasons, but I would put her above Michael Jackson or anybody. And I thought I want to see, these people are not going to be around for much longer, or maybe they will, I don't know. But I thought I should see Madonna. So when tickets went on sale like a year ago, I got tickets. So I went to see her, even though I don't really like her or care about her. Although I did buy a t-shirt, the poster, the official poster, and a little pin. So the bad thing is, yeah, she lip syncs a lot, which I think everybody knows that. I don't think it's a secret. There were some parts where it was very obvious where she's singing and, you can hear her voice when the microphone is not really near her mouth. I couldn't tell you where I'm sure she does sing live on some songs, but that does bother me. I knew that, so it didn't bother me too much. But come on, man, you should be able to sing. So I can't really say how good she sounded or not. Maybe the biggest problem that I have with the concert is it's not really like a concert. It's not like a rock concert because there's no instruments on stage. There were 2 songs that she played. She strummed. It was just her strumming her acoustic guitar on. Express Yourself was one, and what's that song called? I can't remember. And I don't know how much of the guitar she was actually playing, but those were, especially Express Yourself. I love that. I really enjoyed seeing Madonna play guitar and just sing Express Yourself acoustically. Is very good. Although I'm not sure how much of the guitar was live. So it's just weird for me to watch a concert and not see any instruments. There's never at any point any drums, no bass. She played guitar, as I said, in the 2 songs. There was another guy that played guitar, just acoustic guitar in a couple of songs. There's a guy or a woman, I can't remember, someone playing cello on maybe, I'm air celloing, I guess. But other than that, these were just accompaniments. Maybe they were more visual than anything. Yeah, no instruments, just a lot of dancers on every song. There's, like 20 people on the stage dancing. Some people love that. I don't. It's like watching when you watch the MTV Awards or the Super Bowl halftime show. It was basically, and I'll give Madonna credit, she plays for 2 hours and 20 minutes. It was basically 2 hours and 20 minutes of watching the MTV Awards or the Super Bowl halftime show. It's all just a big, big production. Every song has, a theme to it. The kind of theme of this concert was her life, her 40 years in the music business, or longer than that. And it was called the Celebration Tour. So there was that, but I have to say I did enjoy the concert from the aspect that it was incredible, and I was always thinking about how do they do this, to not just the actual show, but to prepare the show, to think about somebody. I don't know how much input Madonna has on this, but somebody's thinking, okay, for this song, and she plays like 26 songs. Each song, as I said, is a different production. So in this song, we're going to do this. This song, we do this. Everything is different. And there's videos. There's like 4 or 5 video screens. Somebody has to think of what are we going to do? What's going to be on the video? Then they have to get the video, edit it all together. There's photographs. There's tributes. Something else that was kind of weird about the show. Madonna did her tribute to, she was showing this photo montage of all these people who've died. It was Freddie Mercury, Eazy-E. I thought, what do they have in common? And then it turns out there was people that have died of AIDS, which, okay, yeah, that's bad. But I thought, it's 2024. It seems kind of, to me, outdated to be, talking about people dying of AIDS. I know people do die of AIDS, and I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I just thought that seemed a little bit outdated. Although, who am I to tell Madonna how to run her business? So every song I was thinking, and so the actual production, it's a huge stage, probably the biggest stage I've ever seen. And, there's these lifts, these elevators that come up and down onto the stage. There's these things like that Madonna, and at one point the guy playing acoustic guitar, it's like a square, it's like a giant picture frame. It's maybe, 3 meters across and 3 meters high. And it kind of floats around the arena. And you never at any point saw any crew. It was really amazing how clean the show was. Very, very impressive. So from that standpoint, it was just the most top-notch thing I've ever seen. Another thing that, Madonna, she bothers me personally. If anybody remembers her period of where she spoke with a British accent and her COVID video, during COVID, she put out this video of her sitting in a bathtub filled with rose petals or something like that, saying, yeah, COVID makes us all equal. We're all the same during COVID. She's saying this from a bathtub full of rose petals to somebody who's professionally filming her doing this little thing, saying we're all equal, trying to make herself a woman of the people. Something else that she did, and this was like eye roll inducing. She was drinking beer. She was drinking Budweiser from the bottle. And it just looks so pandering, like to say, yeah, look at me, I'm Madonna, but I drink beer, Budweiser beer from the bottle. And even that, I think that was fake too. She was doing these kind of speeches talking about her life, and she swigs from the beer, and you can kind of, I'm sure she was drinking something. I have a feeling it wasn't beer, because this, maybe I'm being very, analyzing this like the Zapruder film or something, but she would take, yeah, so in my life, I would, blah, blah. And I think typically if you're drinking a beer, you would take a swig and then kind of, I don't know, I can't explain it. Maybe you know what I'm talking about, or maybe you don't. But I don't know, it just seemed weird. Like, again, everything with Madonna is look at me, look at me, look at me, which is somewhat understandable because she is a diva. But anyway, so overall, I did like it. I'm glad that I went. I had a good time. I was never at any point bored or thought, why did I come here? So yeah, I'm glad I went, and that's it. So Mike Pratt, you wanted to know how Madonna was? That's how Madonna was. So now I'll talk about Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. Here it is. I love this album, man. I think this is a great album. Some time ago, maybe a couple years ago, I can't remember if I did it as this series. I want to talk about this album, where I had the one before I rebranded it. called I Love This Album, but I did talk about New Jersey, which is my favorite Bon Jovi album. And now I want to talk about this one. And I'm not a huge Bon Jovi fan. I think I don't think I ever bought the first record. I did buy 7800 Fahrenheit, which was the second one. Then I bought Slippery When Wet, the third one. And New Jersey. I never bought a Bon Jovi album after that. I think it was, what came after New Jersey? It's My Life was the song. Whatever album that was on, I never bought that. And I know, of course, Bon Jovi, he or they, we'll say they, Bon Jovi is a band. They're not the most critically acclaimed band in the world. They're not U2 or, I don't know, whoever you want to choose. They're not recognized as virtuosos individually or collectively. I think they're an easy target for people to make fun of them. I think their music is pretty simple. Cheesy maybe, but I don't care. I do love at least these two. 7800 Fahrenheit was okay, but Slippery When Wet, and then I thought New Jersey was even better. I think those are great albums. I think I will always think that. And probably people that know me and know the music that I'm into would maybe be surprised at that. But I do really, really like this album a lot. It was fucking huge. And this came out at some point in 86. I think in the summer of 86 or fall of 86. And it was just at the time and, for the next, I don't know how long, it was huge. This is one of the, in all these records that I've talked about, this might be the biggest. No, I talked about Michael Jackson, Thriller. That's the biggest. This album, I'm sure, went diamond, 10 times platinum in the United States, maybe Canada too. I don't know. If not, it's very, very close. It had You Give Love a Bad Name, Wanted Dead or Alive, Living on a Prayer. At least 3. Was there any more than that? I think maybe only 3 hit singles. This album went a long way on only, I guess, 3 singles. And I'll talk about those songs when I get to them. I really can't overstate how big this album was. The kind of the metal fans kind of liked it, like me at the time in 1986 when this came out. I loved it. I think people who liked maybe pop liked it. And I think that's why some people make fun of it or don't like it, because the metal fans say it's too pop for me. The pop fans would maybe say it's too rock for me. It's too heavy metal or something. But I think this was at the time a good example of, God, whether you want to call it hair metal, pop rock, hair metal, cock rock, whatever you want to call it. This was the undisputed king. This really, I think, brought a lot of those people together. And I did see this tour, and I'll show you. Here's my ticket. This was July 12th, 1987. Cinderella opened, and Bon Jovi and I did see them again on the New Jersey tour 2 years later. They had good opening bands. Cinderella in 86 or 87 and Keel opened, I think, the early part of the Slippery When Wet tour must have been late 86 or early 87. By this point, it was Cinderella on the tour, and Skid Row opened for Bon Jovi on the New Jersey tour. And I did buy a shirt of this concert. I can't remember the front, but on the back it said, "We came, we saw, we kicked your ass." That was a Bon Jovi shirt. And I thought Bon Jovi, both times I saw them, I don't remember details or anything about it now, but I do remember thinking Bon Jovi's a fucking awesome live band. I thought they were great. And looking back on it now, I guess I would still think they're great. And I should say, by the way, my reason for talking about them today, because I got this record, Slippery When Wet, I don't know, last summer or something. Maybe I should have started with this. There's a new documentary. As I say, today as I'm recording this, it's Saturday, April 27th. And yesterday, I guess it was, there's a 4-part Bon Jovi documentary called Thank You, Good Night. I first heard about this maybe, I don't know, at the end of last year, at the beginning of this year. I thought that looks like an amazing documentary. And so it premiered last night. I downloaded it today. And so I thought, I'm in a little bit of Bon Jovi mode. My level of interest for watching that documentary, the Thank You, Good Night, is like 10 out of 10. I'm very, very interested in watching that. I really want to see that. And I like Bon Jovi as a guy personally. I think he's a very likable guy. Maybe, again, I think he's an easy target. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe I have some theories about why. He's kind of or was at least back then. He's a pretty boy, always smiling for some reason. A lot of at least metal fans don't like smiles. But I think Bon Jovi, you know, I've seen so many interviews with him over the years, and I think he's a very likable guy, John Bon Jovi is. And I guess Richie Sambora too. And Richie Sambora has been out for now, God, 10 or 12, 13 years. Maybe more than anybody. I would love to see Richie Sambora. And I thought when he left, I thought it wouldn't last long. And it's been, as I said, 10 or 11 or 12, 13 years. I'm surprised he hasn't come back. I think he will at some point, and I hope he does. That would be my, if Bon Jovi played in Mexico City on this tour, I assume they're touring because they do have a new album that came out, or I don't know if it's out yet. They have a new song called Guaranteed. I watched the video a week or so ago. It's not bad. Maybe the album comes out in May. I'm not sure. I think at this point I would like to see Bon Jovi again. I would prefer to see him with Richie Sambora if he ever comes back. But I think at this point, similar with Madonna and Billy Joel and Rod Stewart, I don't know how many more chances I'll get to see Bon Jovi. It's been far, far too long. The last time I saw him was 1989. So I'll give Bon Jovi a chance. I shouldn't say that. That sounds like they have to prove themselves to me. I do want to see Bon Jovi again. And if they come on this tour, I will. All right. So that was very, very long. It's taken me probably, 7 or maybe 34 minutes to get to the record. But I will talk about it now. I think this is a classic record. And I love every song in this one. Some of these records I talk about in this series, you know, there are maybe a few songs I'm not crazy about or whatever. Some albums, you know, I talked about Crazy Nights a few weeks ago. Kiss, that album sucks. But Slippery When Wet is a fucking awesome album. I love it. All right, so let's see. There it is again. Let me take a look what's inside. I don't remember it being red when I had it. I think I remember it being yellow, although I could be wrong. It's got just what I want in a record. Give me the lyrics and a photo. Maybe it was red. I don't know. And I think it's just regular black vinyl. Yeah, it is. There it is, the Mercury logo. Same as Kiss at that time. Kiss was on Mercury. So going through this track by track now, the first song is Let It Rock. Oh God, I can't sing anytime, and I especially can't sing today. Let it rock, let it rock. This has that I guess it's like an organ intro, keyboard intro. To me, it sounds like I would call it like happy Deep Purple. It's got this big booming organ, but it does have that like Deep Purple might have. But it sounds happier, I think, than Deep Purple, and I think it's an excellent song. It's not like typically of this era bands used to open with really fast up-tempo songs, which maybe the second song on side 2 would have been better suited to open the album. But I thought Let It Rock was great, and it introduced what are some of the characters? The Captain Kidd, the King of Swing, Gino. While Gino danced the tango with a broomstick in his hand, he said, "It's all right." All right, if you have a good time, it's all. If you want to cross the line, break on through to the other side. Little Doors tribute. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was intentional. Is that the lyric? If you want to cross the line and break on through to the other side. Yeah. Let it rock, let it go. You can't stop. You can't stop the fire when it's out of control. Let it rock. It's a great song. I love it. Next is Shot Through the Heart and You're to Blame. You Give Love a Bad Name. Incredibly catchy song. Very, very glossy. Now, speaking of glossy, I think it was in the last episode. Yeah, it was a couple days ago about Bark at the Moon. And I mentioned how, you know, the keyboards on Bark at the Moon, especially Slow Down, how they just really annoy me and bother me, and they make it sound so glossy. And Kiss on Crazy Nights, especially on Turn on the Night, and I don't know, some other songs where the keyboards were just so sappy and drippy. And I think this album has a lot of that too. But I'm totally fine with Bon Jovi doing it, because Bon Jovi, that is part of their sound. I don't like Ozzy sounding like Bon Jovi. I don't like Kiss sounding like Bon Jovi. But I like Bon Jovi sounding like Bon Jovi. And You Give Love a Bad Name. What a great song it is. Yes, I'm extremely tired of it. I listened to this record this morning and also a couple of days ago. And I do like it now. Again, being away from the radio, I haven't lived in Canada for 18 years, which means I haven't listened to radio for 18 years. So I'm not hearing this song on the radio every day like I did when I lived in Canada. And I guess when you get that break, you talked about this with my friend Dallas the other day. He said the same thing about Honeymoon Suite, that he likes it now. I don't think I could ever like Honeymoon Suite. New girl now. But yeah, You Give Love a Bad Name. It's got that great, I don't know if the Beatles invented this or Motown, but opening with the chorus, the a cappella, shot through the heart and you're to blame. You give love a bad name. You know how it goes. It's an excellent song, and I think the next one is even better and even bigger and catchier and glossier and happier. And it's called Living on a Prayer, and I think this is a great song. I love it. And yes, it's very sappy and very happy and, easy to turn your nose up to and to poo-poo it. But I think Living on a Prayer is a great song. Again, I also did get tired of this, just like You Give Love a Bad Name, but I can't deny that Living on a Prayer is a great song. Next is Social Disease. This is a great fun. This is a real hair metal song lyrically. He mentions something about 38 double D's, which I think he's referring to a woman's breasts. What is that lyric? I can't read this, don't have enough light. Yeah, you can read it in the papers. In some places it comes in 32 flavors, but you wouldn't tell no one your favorite if you could. From the White House to the alleys, from the president down to long, tall Sally. Can't live with it, but you die without it. Yes, you would. Senorita's in the kitchen. She's a fistful of dynamite. Can't remember after that. But yeah, later he says something about 38 double D's. Very hair metal song this is, and I love it. And this, to me, I only realized this when I've been listening to it these last few days. This has a real Aerosmith feel to it, from Aerosmith at the time. The accents of the horn, the dun, 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 dun. You can't start a fire without it. I don't know if they're real horns or if it's synthesized. I think it probably is real horns. I don't know if there's a credit for that. But to me, that's reminiscent of Aerosmith, Ragdoll. Although this came out before Ragdoll, maybe Aerosmith was borrowing from Bon Jovi. I think they're also both writing with Desmond Child, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I don't know if Desmond Child wrote or co-wrote this one. No, it's John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora. But yeah, there's a big Aerosmith, that era Aerosmith feel to Social Disease. Which I didn't realize until only, like the other day or last week or something. The next song, oh my God, Wanted Dead or Alive, one of the greatest songs ever. Holy fuck do I love Wanted Dead or Alive. Unlike, I think, You Give Love a Bad Name and Living on a Prayer, I don't know if I ever got tired of Wanted Dead or Alive, and let me put this away for a minute and put it down, because I'll talk for a minute about this song. I think this is another example of, and this was the point of having music videos back then, is, getting people's attention. And it's a great song, there's no doubt about it, but I can't listen to this song without visualizing the video, because I saw that video so many times, and it's in black and white, and it's live, and it's life on the road. And that song, I'm sure, enhances my love for this. That video enhances my love for this song. And it was played a lot, I think, as much as anything else. I can't get enough of this song. Anytime I've heard it over these years, I still love it. It's got, I would say, one of the best guitar solos ever. Now, Richie Sambora, I think all of Bon Jovi, they're as I mentioned earlier, they're not considered virtuosos or anything. They write great songs, but I don't know if any of them is individually. I don't know how many people are saying, Richie Sambora rules, he's my favorite guitarist. People say that about, let's say, from this genre, maybe Warren DeMartini, George Lynch, Jake E. Lee, Eddie Van Halen, even, Randy Rhoads, even Vivian Campbell, maybe. I don't know how many people are saying Richie Sambora is the best guitarist, but he's great for Bon Jovi. And the solo in Wanted Dead or Alive, I know it as well as I know any lyrics. To me, it reminds me of Mick Mars' solo on Home Sweet Home. Home Sweet Home. Those are two of the greatest solos. I've said, God, I don't know how many times. I can't remember solos. This is my favorite. I can't remember those. But when I hear songs, I go, oh man, this solo is fucking awesome. I love this song. This is one that I do know this solo. If you ask me my favorite solos, I'm going to say, Home Sweet Home and this one. Just an amazing, amazing solo. And I don't care if it's talent or not. It sounds great for the song. It's perfect for the song. And they play, God, I remember this song they played. It was just John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora sitting. This was maybe in 87 or 88 on the MTV Music Video Awards. It was just them. I think this was, I guess, a few years before MTV had the Unplugged series. And it was just them, John and Richie doing, they did a little medley of Living on a Prayer and Wanted Dead or Alive, or maybe Wanted Dead or Alive and Living on a Prayer. I'm not sure in what order. And I taped it. I was watching it live and taped it as I used to do back then. And I watched that as much as anything really. And I was just like slack-jawed at how much I loved it. That Wanted Dead or Alive is amazing. Next, on the other side, the first song is Raise Your Hands. Throat problems here. Raise Your Hands, a great, great rocker. I love this song. I love all these songs, but Raise Your Hands, great way to start side 2, or it could have been an opener to open the album. It's up-tempo. I think it would have been an excellent single. Could have been a great video for it. Just like I'm not telling Madonna how to run her business. I'm not saying what Bon Jovi should have done. But Raise Your Hands has, it's maybe the most hair metal-y song, the most rock song for sure, I would say. It's maybe the only song on here that has an actual riff. And lyrically, I think it's also hair metal-y. You got a nasty reputation. You got a nasty reputation. We're in a sticky situation. It's down to me and you. So tell me, is it true? They say there ain't nobody better. Well, now that we're together, show me what you can do. You're out on the run, out on the gun. Gonna set the night on fire, just like Pretty Boy Floyd set the night on fire. Bon Jovi, a couple years earlier, was setting the night on fire. Under the gun, playing to win. You got to raise your hands. And then at the end he's saying, he's shouting out to some cities. And in the chorus, from New Jersey to Tokyo, from New York to Chicago, from New Jersey to Tokyo. And then at the end he's saying, Vancouver, Saraville, New Jersey, Tokyo, Phoenix. Great song. Raise Your Hands is amazing rock song. Next is Without Love, slightly ballad-esque. Without Love. And Black and Blue had a... I'm sorry, I wish I could mute that. Black and Blue had a song or an album, I think an album called Without Love. Kind of sappy. Without love, there's nothing without love. And nothing else can get me through the night. Because nothing would be nothing without love. I see a man, kind of Bruce Springsteen. I see a man down on Lonely Street. Whoa, whoa. A broken man who looked like me. Very Bruce Springsteen, those lyrics. And I like that song too. Next is I Die For You. Not quite ballady, although by the title you'd think it was, is I Die For You. I'd die for you. I'd cry for you. I'd do anything. I'd lie for you. You know it's true. Baby, I'd die for you. Any of these songs could have been singles. Next is Never Say Goodbye. This is kind of a... Actually, these three are kind of ballady. I'd say Never Say Goodbye is the closest one to a ballad. As I sit in the smoky room, the night about to end, I spend my time with strangers, but this bottle's my only friend. Remember when we used to park down on Butler Street and in the dark? Remember when we lost the keys and you lost more than that in my backseat, baby? Never say goodbye, never say goodbye. And I'm not mocking it. I really like Never Say Goodbye. I think it's a fantastic song. And then the last song is Wild in the Streets. Very, very, I think, classic Bon Jovi song. Similar to on the next album, New Jersey, the last song, or second last song, I guess, was 99 in the Shade. Very fun summer rock song. Was this the one we were cruising to the backbeat, making love in the backseat, we were wild in the streets. Very up-tempo, fun. And the solo in this song, speaking of solos again, this has a very cool, kind of a rock and roll Chuck Berry type solo. I think very uncharacteristic of Richie Sambora, this kind of a 50s, 60s rock and roll guitar solo. Yeah, and there it is. What an excellent album this is. I will always defend Bon Jovi. If you want to turn your nose up at Bon Jovi, I don't know how to finish that sentence, but I think you're making a mistake. But I'm not going to try to change your mind. So there it is. Really, really good album. And it's by Bon Jovi. Yeah. Go watch Thank You, Good Night. I think I'm going to watch that tonight. I don't know how long each episode is. There are 4 episodes. I don't know how long each episode is. Maybe I'll watch a couple of them tonight and relax and enjoy. I'm very excited about that. So there it is for Bon Jovi. This is called Slippery When Wet.